Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to learn more about Samsung HVAC equipment and error code E320. If you want to learn more about Samsung HVAC, if you want a guide to be able to help you to service this equipment in the field, I can show you how to get that guide. If you'll wait till the end of the video, I'll actually tell you how you can get this guide, what you can do to get it. Right now, we've got a lot of stuff in front of me. I've got actual resistance charts, and then I've got a little guide for troubleshooting the error code E320. I'm going to turn the camera around in a minute. We're going to talk about all of this that I've got in front of me, and then I'm going to use my meter to actually measure the ohms and talk about what I experienced with this error code. If you're having issues with the error code E320 today, I'm going to try to help give you information so that you can successfully try to diagnose the equipment and get past this error code problem so that you can service more equipment in the field and be more proficient. You're watching Tips for Technicians. I'm Tad. Let's get started. All right, so before we talk about the error code, I want to show you this right here is the plug and sensors for the outdoor unit. This includes the OLP sensor. Then we've got an indoor air sensor. This is off a ducted air handler. And then we've got an EV inlet and outlet. This is on the indoor heat exchanger of a ducted Samsung. So we've got these sensors, 10 kilo ohm sensors, and then we've got this 200 kilo ohm sensor, the OLP, which we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So just want to show you that's where the OLP will be located in the outdoor unit. Just in case you didn't know, this right here is a ducted air handler made by Samsung, and you can't really see it, but I've got a light here. There's the indoor sensor that measures the air passing across this air handler. And then those two sensors that we're going to measure the resistance on here in a minute that are 10 kilo ohm sensors, those are going to be located on the indoor heat exchanger for this Samsung ducted unit. So first let's talk about what you experience with the code. So E320 means overload protector sensor or overload protection. Does the system run or does the error code appear right away? Okay, does the system run or does the error code appear right away? You need to know that. If it appears right away, locate the sensor plug designation and ohm the sensor at 77 degrees. Well, it may not be 77 degrees, so you'll just want to refer to the chart and look at the different temperature and what the resistance should be. You have a minimum, a centered, and a maximum resistance reading that you should have. All right, so if the sensor is out of range, replace it, of course. If the sensor is within range, reseat connection and test. If error occurs again, replace outdoor PCB. But first, before you do that, there's a couple things you need to know before you do that, but that is the sequence that you need to be adhering to when you do have an E320 issue. So let's read on. If system runs before error, check running pressure. Okay, so that's definitely what you need to do, because it could be that your pressures are not right. If they're not, you need to factory charge it, okay? So definitely recover the refrigerant factory charge. Now, make sure outdoor fan motor is running, because that's going to affect pressure. Make sure coil is clean. Again, you're going to affect pressure. If in heat mode, make sure indoor fan is coming on and filter is clean. Okay, so indoor fan, if it's not coming on, you're going to have definitely more head pressure for the indoor unit. You're not going to be lowering that temperature and releasing the fan. So if not, refer to E154 troubleshooting. All right, make sure there is no obstructions in front of indoor or outdoor units. Check the discharge sensor. Okay, so that is what you need to know. That's the first thing I want to show you. Now let's go ahead and get the OLP sensor in front of us and let's ohm it out. All right, if you do want to look at E154, we can do that. Stop the video and read this right here. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and continue, okay? Stop the video if you want to look at E154. And the reason you would be looking at E154 is because in heat mode, your indoor fan might not be coming on, all right? If so, look at this. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to locate the thermistor that you're going to be testing. You locate the Molex plug where the thermistors are connected. Definitely make sure that you get your small, thin leads. That way you can actually fit them in there to take the measurement. So we won't need those. We locate the OLP sensor. We take the temperature, okay? That way we know what the temperature is, okay? Right now it's 71 degrees in here, okay? So we locate it, and then we put our leads in here. All right, we get them to where they're very, very still, and we read that measurement of 213, all right? That was easy. Now we take our resistance chart. So here's our resistance chart here, and we want to use Fahrenheit. You can use Celsius if you want. I'm going to use Fahrenheit. It was 71 degrees in here. Reading was 216. This is 217. So we are right on the reading that we would need. Now we are going to test the sensor for the ducted air handler. Okay, and this indoor sensor right here measures the indoor heat exchanger. This one does as well. And then you've got this indoor ambient sensor. Now it's 71 degrees in here, so keep that in mind. We're going to measure this sensor first, and this is a 10 kilo ohm. See, 10.8. All right, and since this is the same temperature in here, they should all read the same. We're going to do this one now, and then we're going to talk about what issues you can have. Oh, 10.67. All right, last one. 9.59. Okay, so there's a little bit of inconsistency there, so that's why this sensor had to be changed. Let's go to talk about what you can have when you have a sensor that's off on its reading, what the system will do. Before we go to where to get that Samsung guide, I want to tell you that if you have a sensor that's not reading properly, the system can really not act correctly. What I've had happen, especially with a single zone ducted Samsung mini split, is I've had the indoor unit, when you turn it to heating, it not produce any heat. It run for just a little while and then it shuts off because the indoor sensor was malfunctioning, and it's reading the temperatures and is trying to make the indoor coil temperature 99 degrees, and it already thinks it's there, but it's not. So measuring the indoor sensors is very, very key to figuring out and diagnosing the equipment properly. Now, when you have an E320 error, if you have a system that doesn't have the correct amount of refrigerant, then you might not be able to maintain the correct discharge temperature, and you might have a discharge temperature that's really, really high, and your compressor is getting really hot. So you also will display the E320 if you have your pressure is not correct from your fan not running, or your coil being dirty. So you have to check the things that make sense first before you start diagnosing the equipment and saying, hey, it's a bad board. If you don't measure the resistance on the sensors, then you can be replacing something that shouldn't have had to been replaced. So Samsung's HVAC training guide. So if you want a training guide to help you in the field, to service, to diagnose this equipment, to have the resistance charts, all you have to do is become a member of my channel. So that means just click join. After you've joined, go down in the comments, say I joined, I want the manual. I'm going to send you my email, then you'll send me an email, and then I'll send you the guide. All right, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. You're watching Tips for Technicians. This is Tad. I'll keep you cool if you let me. So before you leave, if you haven't checked out Samsung's website, I'm going to show you their website where you can download a service manual for any unit. You can actually type in the model number on SamsungHVAC.com. But I use Samsung in my aquaponic grow facilities, and they work out great. I mean, they're awesome. Super quiet, maintain my temperature. It gets hot in here with all those LED lights. Let's go take a look at the website. So if you haven't been to SamsungHVAC.com, you need to check it out. SamsungHVAC.com has a product search where you can enter model number. You can look at the different types of unit, like the ducted single zone or free joint multi. Let's click on the ducted air handler here, and we can actually scroll down and we can download an installation manual and a user manual. You can download a technical data book, or you can go to this service manual here. Once you download the manual, you have things like troubleshooting, disassembly, and reassembly. So we can actually look at where those sensors are located in the indoor and outdoor unit. You can see that right here, they're taking apart the indoor ducted air handler. And you can see right here, this is where the actual sensors are located. You see that? Sensors are located right there. Those 10 kilo ohm that we measured resistance on are located in the ducted air handler. So you can have a diagram right there. You can see that. You can scroll down. You can look at what troubleshooting you need to do for what error code you have. So go check out SamsungHVAC.com. Learn more. You're worth more when you know more, guys. I love it. Thanks for watching.